What do you call it when a band dives so far into your mind that it feels like they're x-raying your soul? We call it Half Alive. And I'm Clifford Stummy, the pop song professor. Welcome to my channel where we make song lyrics explained. Today we're talking What's Wrong by Half Alive. And today I want to do something a little bit different because Half Alive's music is deep and it is challenging and it feels typically like it's written exactly for me and challenges me on things that I'm bad at, like self-care, like self-forgiveness, like taking it easy on myself, all that good stuff. And What's Wrong continues that trend. And if I had to describe this song in business speak, I would use the comparison of productivity versus productivity capability, or P versus PC, which is a concept from Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's this idea that we can spend time producing things, or we can spend time taking care of and increasing our ability and our capability to produce things. And I wonder if this song isn't very much in line with that. Let me show you what I mean as we dive into the intro and the verse 1. The intro, the time's always right to fix what's wrong, okay? Because we put off fixing things in our lives and what's wrong in our lives in favor of whatever it is we would rather be doing instead. And who wouldn't rather be doing other things than addressing, owning up to, facing, and fixing what's wrong in our lives? Because there is literally nothing worse than doing that. What? Death? April says death is worse. He goes into verse 1, time is always right in past tense, like, yeah, that would have been a good time to do it maybe. Avoiding is my newest obsession, avoiding that need to go and fix the things that are wrong. Starting with the right intentions, but left them on the shelf. So tell me how to live in tension, because every could have been kills when living here has been hell and I can't hold it myself. There is so much going on here, we need to unpack it. I started with the right intentions, trying to fix things and make life better. Maybe I wasn't trying to fix things, but I was trying to live life right going forward. But I left those intentions on the shelf. I started avoiding, I started forgetting about them, focusing on other things. So tell me how to live in this tension that I'm in now, where all these broken things are around me, because every could have been like, oh, my life could have been better in that way. I could have worked on this. I could have, taken care of myself better in this way. It kills me when, I think about how I've been living through this misery, like, oh, I didn't have to be living in the situation that I'm in. I could have been in that much better place if I just, time is always right in the past tense. If I hadn't done it in the past when it was the right time to fix this problem. What kind of problems is he talking about? I don't know, but I know that a lot of us can probably think of problems in our lives where we're like, yeah, I wish I'd fixed that a while ago. I wish I'd been working on that, conscious of that. Sometimes it's, you wish you'd worked out more. Sometimes it's wish you worked on being patient more. Sometimes you wish you'd mowed the lawn last week instead of waiting until it was really overgrown this week. Honestly, it's probably a trivial example to what he's thinking of. But he continues on. The whisper in my heart, it could never speak up. The message in my chest gathered too much dust. I can't afford the truth, even if it's unjust. Keep it top shelf, keep it all locked up. And this part, honestly, is fairly confusing. But I think what he's saying is that there are things that our conscience, or our subconscious tells us we need to be working on and fixing and doing a better job of, but we just kind of locked it up and we left it alone and it got covered with dust, and so it's harder to hear it, kept it top shelf, keep it all locked up, and now it's harder to feel motivated to go and try to make that fix, and so we've really got to work to bust out of it. And I wonder if maybe the song wasn't partially inspired by COVID and isolating and all of this stuff, and I think it probably partially was, because a lot of people looked at COVID as like, well, I don't have anywhere to be. I guess I can work on all those things I've been procrastinating. And then we all went and watched Netflix. Or WandaVision, there was that as well. So he says in the chorus, so yippee-ki-yay, it's not my blood, but every single day it calls my bluff. It's not okay, then it ain't quite done. The time's always right to fix what's wrong. And it kind of is like this yippee-ki-yay, I'm not super excited about it. It's kind of ironic, but let's just go give it a shot. The time is always right to fix what's wrong. And now is the time. Verse 2, looking through a haze, I'm basing everything around me on traces. The criminal I've been chasing is wearing my shoes. Who wears your shoes? You wear your shoes. The problem he's trying to solve, the criminal in his life, might be himself, i.e., he's responsible for some of the stuff that is wrong in his life, right? And this, for me, brings it back to that production capability thing I was talking about earlier, where I think for a lot of us, we think, okay, I've got to do my side hustles, I've got to do my job, I've got to go and do this, I've got to do that, and I've got to do this, and we don't take that time to self-reflect. Self-reflection is my nemesis. It just sounds so boring and kind of difficult and kind of scary, right? Like, ugh. If I have to go and self-reflect, then I have to think of all the ways I screwed up, and then I have to confront those and figure out how I feel about those, and that's not fun. But Josh Taylor and the band is saying the time's always right to fix what's wrong. Honestly, that's a little bit more of a personal reading maybe than the song warrants, but that's what I'm getting out of it. We continue on into the bridge. Oh my God, it ain't quite why. Hold on, it ain't quite love. Hold on, it ain't quite done. No, oh my God, it ain't quite why. And he goes on into that some more. This speaks to a lack of finality and a process that we have to push through. And I think a little bit of confusion that we'll probably understand ourselves better, his confusion, as we listen to more songs on the album. So that's the basic idea behind this. If we boil it down, it would be that one line, the time's always right to fix what's wrong, and that's the name of the song. What's wrong? The time's always right to fix it. Don't care what it is, let's fix it, boys. And tackling that stuff head on. And I think, you know, sometimes that's not always the right answer. Sometimes you need to sort of take a break and regroup and charge back in. But you know, there is a little bit of a theme, I think, during COVID, where a lot of us were like, yeah, we're gonna make this, you know, one of the best years of our lives because we have so little distraction. And that didn't quite work out, as nobody would expect it to. That was a little bit naive to think. But even still, if there is something wrong and we can fix it, maybe now's a good time to do so. That's the song Meaning, people. If you want to know what's going on in the music video with all like the weird font and everything, those were actually, I think, webdings and wingdings, the arrows and everything. And they said these: super excited about our new song. It's called Summerland, another song coming out. There's another one called Move Me. We wrote that one today. The chorus is I want you to move me over and over again. Okay, thank you. It's about God. God is so good, guys, like seriously. For real, not joking, amen. And that is probably where I'll leave you guys, because that's a lot to think about, and it's exciting to think this band is continuing to put out music. If you've been tackling existential crises all day and you're tired and you do need a reasonable break, check out the Obsessed podcast, linked below, where I go and investigate obsessions and passions and hobbies and crazy things that people love and that I'm not quite sure why they love. And so I ask the question, why do you love this thing? And then they tell me, and then I try it myself, and then I'm like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And it's really cool. There's a lot of great stuff. Link is below. I hope you enjoy. Talk to you next time.